Well, hello and welcome to the e-commerce podcast with me, your host, Matt Edmundson. Now, this is a show all about helping you deliver e-commerce wow. Oh, yes, it is. And to help us do just that, we've introduced a new segment to the show. Yes, now, if you're a regular to the show, you will know that normally what happens is we have what we call an expert interview. Now, that's where I go and get an expert in their field. Could be email marketing, it could be SEO, it could be a whole bunch of things. Get them to come to the show and we just grill them senselessly about their topic and area of expertise, which is always good fun. And I always learn something and it's always great. But as you may or may not be aware, we have introduced some new segments to the show. Depends on how often you listen to it, I suppose. But we have introduced new pillars, one of which is where we talk to e-commerce founders. Oh, yes. And we talk to them about their story, really about what they've learned in e-com, what they are learning, stuff that they've figured out along the way. So today is one of those shows. We have a founder on the show today. We are chatting with Ana Estrougo. Yes, we are from the Octopus Club, theoctopusclub.com. If you want to go check that out, do so. We're going to be talking about Ana's story, what she's learned in e-com, all that good stuff, so don't go anywhere. And of course, if you're new to the show, a very, very warm welcome to you. It's great to have you joining us. Great that you are here. Hope you get a lot out of it. Hope you subscribe and stay with us and follow us on this fab journey of e-commerce as we learn all we can about this wonderful topic. It's going to be great. It's going to be great. Now, depending on when you're listening to this, which I'm assuming is going to be in a few weeks' time post-recording, I will either be at Sub Summit in the States or I will have come back from Sub Summit in the States. Either way, I'm expecting it's going to be really good. And if you were there, it was probably great to see you. If you haven't done so already, make sure you sign up to the newsletter, which you can get at ecommercepodcast.net. Why would you want to do that? Why would you want more stuff in your email inbox? Well, we don't actually send you a whole great deal out. It's just one email a week. We send you all the notes, all the transcripts, and all the stuff from the show. That you can get on that, as well as the email actually is getting developed slightly, but it's still only once a week. Still send that out to you, still full of good stuff. So go check that out, ecommercepodcast.net, and get all of this good stuff straight to your inbox. You don't have to do anything. It's a beautiful thing. Now, let's talk about Ana. She is a passionate female founder on a mission to break the stigma that secondhand is second best. Love that. At the Octopus Club, they help parents reduce waste and be pocket-wise while still providing for their kids with quality. And Ana is proud to say that she hasn't bought anything new for herself in 4 years. Oh, we're going to get into this as Ana only buys secondhand. Ana, welcome to the show. It's great to have you. Thank you for joining me today. How are we doing?
Thank you so much, Matt, for having me. I'm very excited to share my journey and to share the bumps and the highs and the lows of what is building a startup and being a founder.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. The bumps and the scratches along the way. Now, we were saying before you hit the record that you are a mum and your child is at the moment aptly engaged, but may not be for much longer and may come join us on the show, which would be quite interesting. Well, quite fun, actually, is probably the right phrase to use. So tell us a bit about your story. So you're a young mum, you're a female founder, you've got an online business. Tell us what the Octopus Club is and why you started it.
So the Octopus Club is a secondhand marketplace for parents to buy, sell, and donate maternity, baby, and kid stuff. I started it because I found a problem. I was inundated with barely used baby gear that had cost a fortune. It was beautiful. My baby didn't like it or, didn't get a chance to use it. And these things were still in fantastic condition. I knew that they could be used by other families. I bought from other marketplaces before, general ones, and I thought that the things arrived and it didn't seem like they were the standard of the things I had.
Mhm.
And I thought there must be other parents like me that care about the way they take care about the things they have, that they want to pass it on to another family who is going to enjoy these things too. And letting things go of your baby that grew is part nostalgic as well. So you want to feel good about letting it go. it's a sentimental thing. It's not
Mhm.
just buying and selling a pack of cards. So I thought there must be other parents like me in the situation. And I was with my baby. He was 6 months old. I was looking very confused, and my partner came in, and I said, there should be a marketplace just for baby and kid stuff, so that everyone puts their things there and you buy from there for the next stage. And it's just like a community of people sharing these things and in a way making money to buy the next thing that they need. Uh, and he said, well, there isn't one yet. And I said, not in the UK. And he said, well, you're going to do it. And then I did.
Now, was that an insightful revelation from your partner, or was it actually an instruction? I'm kind of confused right now.
Well, I think now he regrets a bit that he said it.
Now
Because,
this thing has sucked the life out of you. He regrets it
well,
slightly.
I'm so passionate, and this is all I want to talk about with him. And he's like, again, I'm not your business partner, but um, it took over in a great way because
Mm.
I know we have inspired so many families to start buying secondhand. 30% of users on the Octopus Club bought something secondhand for the first time on the Octopus Club. And
Wow.
this really shows that we are reliable, they trust, and they take the leap of doing secondhand for the first time in their lives on the Octopus Club. For me, this is huge. If we stopped now, I am, already very proud, but we're not
Hmm.
stopping. We have so much to do, and I'm very excited about the future.
No doubt, no doubt. And so, so the Octopus Club started. Did you say 4 years ago?
Yes, our first birthday was last week.
Well, happy fourth birthday.
Thank you.
This is very good. So, I love this. How a lot of businesses, a lot of entrepreneurs, when they start something, a startup usually comes because they see a problem and they go, "There has to be a solution. I can't find a solution. Therefore, I should." This illogical step, which goes, "Well, if there's no solution, I should probably create said solution," which makes absolutely no sense to most people, but to most entrepreneurs, it makes an awful lot of sense, doesn't it? Um, so you started this business 4 years ago because you saw the need. How did you go about that? Because here you are, right? My kids are at a very different age, and I'm not going to lie. My eldest is 22, my youngest is 17. I'm at a different phase of life,
Yeah.
but I still remember the sleepless nights, the endless crying, the nappies, the emotional torments, and that was just what my wife was getting from me, let alone the kids. How on earth did you start and find the energy to start a business whilst being a young mum? That intrigues me.
I'm very determined, Matt.
Okay.
So my baby was there. So I started thinking, he was 6 months. I started thinking about the idea, came up with the name. And the reason why the Octopus Club is called the Octopus Club is because parents are always juggling. We have so many arms and things that we're moving around, trying to make things work. And
Yeah.
also about the first hand, second hand, third hand, passing things on. Um, so I thought it must be the Octopus Club. Let's try to get the name. So I was able to get that name, register it, trademark, etc. Then I come from a graphic design and branding background. That's what I did pre-baby
Okay.
for over 10, 15 years. And so my first idea was visualize it. How's it work? It needs to be easy for parents to navigate, very user experience, like super simple,
Mm.
so that tired parents that aren't sleeping well can go and do their thing and not be, oh, where's this, where's that. So that was how it started, very visually. I didn't do any market research. I asked some friends what they thought, and they said, yeah, we sometimes sell some stuff on Facebook Marketplace or WhatsApp, and I said, okay, it's needed. And I just went and did it. I know that if I had spent months or years researching and finding that, like all that pre-work that many people do, I don't
Hmm.
think I would have done it because I wasn't that momentum. I wasn't that
Right.
drive. And I just needed to get something out there and then start learning with the community, with what people need, with what people want, and building the product from feedback instead of
Mm.
just building the perfect product and then, oh, let's try to now integrate this with the community. Like, no, let's put it out there and
Hmm.
then we see what happens. So very community led from the beginning was really important. So
That's
yeah,
really
so
powerful. Really powerful, because I think, and again, this is just a really important point, especially if you're thinking of starting up. You don't need, as we like to say, all your ducks in a row. Really, you sometimes they said to me when I was younger, and it really stuck with me. It's easier to turn a car that's moving, and I think it's a really good analogy that actually, when you start a business, sometimes just starting is the biggest power, isn't it? Really, you just get going, start the journey. I tend to find there are two types of people. Using my car analogy is probably taking it slightly too far, but here we go. There are two types of people. When you sit in a car and you say, right, we need to go to the other side of the country or the other side of the city or whatever it is, there's a person that will get out the map and plot the routes to be the most efficient. And then there's a person who just gets in the car and starts driving and figures out there's somewhere over there, we'll figure it out along the way, right? And I think that they're the two approaches I see a lot in business. There's the people who want to have everything, thought through a whole bunch of information. Normally, if you're going to go to the bank, they want you to have done that. They want you to have a business plan. If you don't, if you're like me and maybe like Ana, then actually, no, we're just going to start and see where it takes us, right? And adapt and move along the way. That seems to sound like your personality a little bit.
Yeah, because you know, the striving for perfection, it would take so long to do
Yeah.
something perfect. And I think we humans are also just, going along and getting better and making mistakes and then doing it better next time. And we're like lapidating a diamond, and it takes time and it's going to get there sometime. And it's never going to be perfect, but it needs to be useful. It needs to help people. It needs to be something that people can adapt in their lives, and it's not, something that is hard for them to do.
Yeah.
So that's what I wanted to do. So imagine me in lockdown in a flat without outside space, a baby, and on the carrier. And when he slept, because he only slept on me, not on the cot.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was baby sleeping. I was on the computer designing, and I just because the drive was so big and still is 4 years on. It's just like I wanted to help more people. It was a really strong thing, and the right time. And even though the world was going crazy.
That's brilliant. And I love this because, I mean, you started off answering my question, Ana, by saying, I'm a very determined person. And determination actually accounts for a lot, I think, in the business world, much more than education sometimes. Determination is a critical factor. From your point of view, where did that determination come from? Is that something you've had since, if I was to ask your parents, would your mum say, oh, you were born the most determined person on the planet? Or is it something that you've had to develop in you over time?
A good question. I didn't like school. I was bored. But when I wanted something, I would go and get it.
Yeah.
And I think it might be, I was very adventurous, and I left my house when I was 18 to go somewhere for a month in another country. And I'm originally from Brazil. And then when I was 20, I came to England, which is very far from Brazil, in the
Yep.
time that weren't mobile phones, and I didn't have a laptop. And, it was quite crazy. And I just came here like, wow, look at this place. Look at the possibilities. Look at all these people dressing differently and being their true selves. I was just so inspired. Then I got my first job in a guitar shop. And then, it was just so many possibilities and things I could be. And um, just loving that challenge of getting out of your comfort zone and doing something even though it feels so weird, and then getting better at it, and then changing, and then reinventing yourself. And this is something I think I've been doing a lot of, and that I've been taking it into my business as well. For example, Instagram reels and videos and things like that. I remember in the beginning, I used to be so out of my comfort zone, looking at the camera and talking to the camera and explaining stuff. It's so weird. And right now I'm much more confident, and I enjoy it because, I'm just talking to other people, and I found I'm much more comfortable. But I look at what I did before, and it doesn't make me feel cringe. It makes me feel like, wow, how brave. You put
Yeah.
shit and you put it out there. It's like, it doesn't have to be perfect. You just have to do it. And then you watch it, and then you have a kind of, you'll feedback yourself, oh, that wasn't great. And I try it again. And you just keep going and keep evolving and, be your own critic. But, just go and try it out.
Love that. Love the word you used, which really stood out to me in that whole thing, was when you look back, you thought about how brave you were just putting it out there. And I think that's such a good way to look at it, because so many times people look back at stuff that they've done and they cringe, or they don't want to put stuff out there because they don't know if it feels right. But you did it anyway in spite of it. And I love that when you look back on it, it's done in a healthy way. It's like, well, how brave of you to do that. So with the determination then has come bravery, and actually these are qualities that they never talk about in business school, really. And actually, business more often than not is just about being brave, isn't it? It's about making that decision. It's about putting yourself in an uncomfortable position, whether that's doing Instagram Reels for the first time, or a live, or a podcast, or whatever it is. Just being brave and taking the step and seeing where that takes you, which I think is different to being foolish or foolhardy or being reckless. But be brave. And I am loving the fact that was your go-to word when you look back over your past catalog. It's a sign of healthy self-esteem, I would say, Ana.
Well, I'm glad.
Yeah,
Like,
no,
it's easy just to keep going and not looking back and just, I need more of this and I need to get there. I need to do this. But actually, like, look how far we've come, all of us somehow, and how we developed. And wow, it's just like amazing to keep going and pushing and trying different things and letting go of the ones that don't work and pursuing the ones that do, and just trying it out. Having a positive outlook, I think, is really important.
Yeah, no, that's powerful. That's powerful. So when it comes to, if I might, just maybe one more question on this, Ana. You have a young child still. You've been running the business 4 years. How do you balance being a mum and being an entrepreneur, with the business? Do you ever experience, what I've affectionately heard called mum guilt? Do you feel like you've got a good balance? How do you manage family and work? I'm curious.
For the first 2 years, I didn't. I almost burned out a few times, especially because I was, for the first year, doing it all on my own completely, and was able to grow to 2,000 members without any help and just doing it on my own without funding. So I was working all the time, even when I was not on the computer. It was always taking over. And then when I did get funding, pre-revenue, 150K crowdfunding, when we hit 1 year, I was able to get someone to help me with customer care and someone else to do a bit of social media. But then the pressure of succeeding with the investment became loud. Now and I just kept going, and didn't find time to look out from outside, and just kept executing. And a few times I thought, I'm not going to make it. And a couple of friends, founders who I spoke to, told me, if you don't reorganize how you're working, you are not going to make it, and you might not make it again, and you might have a real hard time. So I think having people that you can trust to talk to and be able to have some honest conversations and tell people where you are is really important, because it is a lonely journey in the beginning. And if you don't have a co-founder, I didn't. So it's really important to be able to talk to people, because what these people told me, look, calm down, because if you break, there's no business. You need to keep going, and you need to have that space. The third year was still complicated, but then it's a roller coaster, isn't it? A startup. We have huge highs, like when Vogue contacted us, like we want to put a piece about the Octopus Club on Vogue, and then like 2 weeks later, the BBC said, "Are you going to be on the podcast with the CEO of Vinted and the CEO of Gumtree?" I'm like, "Oh my God, I'm writing this. This ride is amazing." But then there are moments of like, "Oh my God, we need to, reshuffle. We need to bootstrap." And I need to go back to doing almost everything on my own and restructure. And it's like, it's a ride. So you need to be able to look at the bright side and enjoy when it's really high. And when it's really low, you need to just keep resilient and keep going. But I detoured there. Let's go back to the mom guilt. Um, in the beginning, I didn't feel mom guilt because I was very focused and I was tunnel vision. Let's make this thing huge and let's go and let's give it all I got. So I don't have didn't have mom guilt then, but then later I started having a bit of mom guilt for what I hadn't done in the
Mhm.
beginning with my son. Even though I was very present with him, I was always thinking about the business. So I was there physically, but my mind was somewhere else. Um, and now I think because it's been 4 years, I realized that it was not just a quick 1-2 year job that I did. This is my life now. And if
Yeah.
I'm not able to be present when I'm with him and be very focused and like, not that it's the wrong word, but like, and I have a list to do, which is huge. I'm not
Mm.
going to get it all done. So what are the things that are going to make things go, that are going to flick the switch, that are going to make a difference? The rest, unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to reply to all the emails.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be able to do all the content I want and all the changes I want. Just like being able to filter and go with it. This is important. This can wait. And just keep going. You just have to keep going.
That's really powerful. So if I could ask, maybe looking back over the last 4 years, would you do it all the same way or would you do it differently?
I would do some things differently, but I think it's important to make the mistakes, because if you don't make mistakes, you're not being adventurous, you're not being audacious,
Mm.
and you learn from them and then you tweak and you keep going. Um, but it's hard to tell, because if I knew everything that I know now when it was then,
Hmm.
I would have would probably be in a higher state now, like in terms of like growth, and because I wouldn't make them small mistakes I did in the learning of the process.
Mm. So, and I think this is a true statement actually from anyone in business. It's kind of like, well, yes, of course I'd do it differently. Why would I not? But at the same time, I don't regret any of the stuff that I've gone through, because it's usually in those moments that you learn the most, either about yourself or your business, or they have they help move the needle in significant ways because they force you to think outside the box. There's all kinds of things, isn't there? Platitudes I can, I'm just listening back in my head what I've just said: move the needle, think outside the box, all those kind of phrases we like. But if you then were talking maybe to someone today who was starting a similar thing, maybe not a marketplace, for secondhand stuff for maternity and young babies, but what would be your key piece of advice to a younger Anna, maybe 4 years ago?
I think quickly learning how to deal with issues and mistakes, and having instead of, because in the beginning when something happened that wasn't right, I would freak out and be like, "Oh my god, what am I gonna do?" And like, lose control a bit mentally of the situation. Instead of what I do now and that I learned, it's like, okay, it happened. What can we do? Can we do this and that? Would this be better? Is this quicker? Let's just
Hmm.
sort it out, and then we find a way to do it even more for the future.
Yeah.
So like, how do mistakes um, hit you, how you let them hit you, and how you move forward, and having that kind of way of dealing with problems that is more like creative problem solving and getting it done and sorting it out and moving on, and not feeling bad that it happened.
Very good. Very, but not feeling bad that it happened. I love that. A lot of wisdom here, Anna, and it's fascinating listening to you talk. So, let's talk about e-commerce for a little minute, because obviously you've got this marketplace business. You're trying to grow it and run it as a business. What do you think, from an e-commerce point of view, has had the biggest impact on your company?
Um, I think COVID was huge for what we started just,
Yeah.
yeah. People were at home.
Can't
They
really
had
plan
lots of
that.
work.
Yeah. Go to Facebook Marketplace. I can learn how to do ads. I can't learn how to do pandemics. But no, I get what you're saying. Sorry, I'm being
No,
flippant.
but let's see something else. But something else that you don't have control is like how the world is moving. And right now we know that e-commerce resale is growing 16 times faster than traditional retail, which is
Oh, wow.
gigantic.
Mm.
So I think, uh, yeah, I think it was the right place and the right time, and it was just like this. Now I felt the need, and not only me, other people too, and then it went like that, and now it's everywhere. It's becoming the thing, and not only marketplaces but also brands and retailers are starting to think about resale, and some are doing it themselves already. And last year in 2023. 71% of consumers bought or sold something secondhand. I mean, that's huge. And 61% of these people did it at least once a month. So it's like, it's the right time. And that was a bit of luck. Well, maybe a lot of luck, but I felt the need of it all. So it wasn't like a guess. It was just like, I need this now. I need to do it. Yeah.
Yeah, I think luck is a funny thing, isn't it? But and I would say I'd have a similar story in the sense I would say I was in the right place at the right time. But in that, it was the right place and it was the right time because I did the right thing. And often that's missed out of the equation, isn't it? It's actually, yes, well, no, we had to do something at that point in time, and we did it, and it happened to be the right place and the right time. And you can't underestimate that. So I'm guessing, listening to you talk, Ana, your competitors, for want of a better expression, are going to be Vinted, eBay, Facebook Marketplace, I'm guessing. How have you stood out? How have you made yourself different in that environment?
Well, they're all so much bigger than us. It's not even comparable. Everyone knows we are a little baby. Okay, so personal shopping service. If you are a parent and you need help with finding the best secondhand stuff for your kid, we'll just send you a list of links to shop on the Octopus Club. They don't do that. They're not personable. They are more buy and sell, and there's no kind of human touch to it. And we do amazing customer support. We also have the Octa Drops, which is when we sell overstock and open box returns from our partner brand. And this is the way that we are helping these brands and retailers to recoup revenue, recoup place in their warehouses, and to get these things used by other people, which for me is very important, instead of knowing that things are there sitting doing nothing. And we can get these items to our community for at least 30% off RRP, up to 50%. Items are amazing. What else do? We have over 20 partner brands that offer services and products that are either sustainable or to do with parenting. These are discounts that we give our active users to use with our favorite brand. What else? We have a reseller scheme, which is something that none of these big guys do. If you don't have time to sell your kids' stuff, we can connect you to one of our pro sellers, and they do it all for you, and you split the profit with them. So it's a win-win. We get great supply. We give people that want to have a bit of work and a bit of income the opportunity to do so, and we are helping out parents that don't have time to list the items and get it sold, etc. themselves.
Fantastic.
And the other thing is that the Octopus Club is me. And I am on the face of the brand, and I'm a parent, just like the people that are using it. It's a brand with a face. And me and my team, who are, by the way, all female, we really care about what we're doing. And we are super mission-led. We all want to make the future, if possible, a better place for our kids, because they're going to be here longer than us. So we must do what is right for them.
Yeah, very powerful. Very good. It's interesting. I mean, we talk a lot internally and with clients, and I would have said it a few times on the podcast as well, about this concept of digital Davids. You've heard the story of David and Goliath, where David is the small shepherd boy taking on the big giant of Goliath. And It's a well-known book now it's obviously a well-known ancient story, but Malcolm Gladwell wrote a book called David and Goliath, which if you've not read it, Anna, you should read because it is right up your street. Talking about the underdog and how actually, as the underdog, you've got more superpowers than you actually probably already know. And great book, great read. But we talk about it in the context of digital Davids. We talk about, how many of us run an e-com sites where our competition is Amazon. For you, it's eBay. And it's like, how do the smaller guys take on the big guys and win? How do we make our businesses successful? It's not like I'm trying to destroy Amazon. Please don't mishear me, Mr. Bezos. But I need my business to work independent of decisions that Amazon make. And I'm really intrigued by that, and here you are in probably one of the most, I would say, tightly controlled spaces, because it's always been eBay, recently Facebook Marketplace, and I suppose more recently I've heard conversations about Vinted. My wife buys and sells on Vinted now, rather than eBay. And so obviously eBay and Facebook aren't doing something, and people like you are sort of starting to pop up and create these amazing places to do extraordinary things. And I applaud you for that. I think that's really great. And I think it's great that you're willing to take on the Goliath and go, no, we can do this so much better just by being me and by, being personable and about thinking, what actually people really want from these things. I think that in itself is quite a remarkable achievement,
Yeah, we need to listen. For us, it's really important to listen to what the community needs and to do things for them, because they're the ones using it, and to keep evolving. And I think some of the big guys stayed in their place too comfortably, and they didn't evolve. And then, of course, Vinted came, and they are making it everything very easy for people to buy and sell. And so many people started using secondhand buy and selling as their norm because of Vinted. And I think if they thought about eBay and Facebook Marketplace like, oh, they are the best, the unachievable, we're never going to get it, they wouldn't have started, and they went for it anyway. So I'm not afraid of the big guys. And in a way, I think we're all working towards the greater good. Like, we all want sustainability and secondhand buy and selling to be everyone's way of doing it, because then it's going to be better for the planet. And, we're all here, we're all using the planet. So let's just keep doing it for good. And yeah, that's what I think.
One of the things that you have on your website, which intrigued me, again, this is a point of differentiation. I'd not really seen it before. You have the buy button, the sell button, and a donate button. And actually, when I scrolled down, I mean, I'm obviously not your target market. I'm not looking for socks for my 22-year-old son on your site, but there were people who had donated stuff which you could get for free, right? And that intrigued me.
Yeah. So when I spoke to some people in the beginning, I really wanted to put the donate button there, because I thought, some stuff I just want them to go, because just use it, enjoy. And some people that are some things that are a bit higher value, I want to get some money from it. And then I heard, oh no, don't do it. Your site is going to become a donate website, and you're not going to be able to monetize, and then you're not going to have a business. And I said, you know what? I'm going to put it there. If it starts becoming more than the buy and sell, I'll revise. It's just like what I said in the beginning. It's like, try things out and learn and see what happens. And the donate is maybe 0.5% of the transactions. People want to make some money out of the transaction, even if it's small, because they want to have money to buy the next thing, because the babies don't stop growing. As you know, you have the big babies in your house. It's like they always need the next thing. Yeah. And so you need to, people are really pocket wise and conscious about, their financial, what to do with the money. So they make a bit of money and they spend a bit of money. It's almost like having an Octo wallet. So you make money and you spend. And then some people donate, and I still donate some things. And sometimes you say, oh, I'm selling this, but you can select some other things as a donation, and I'll put it all in the same parcel. It's like, it works. So I'm keeping it there. And I think it's a really nice point, because some people don't need the money and then they just donate. So last week or a week or 2 weeks ago, a new member joined. They listed 8 items, including one, which is an LV breast pump, one of the top breast pumps ever. It's worth almost 300 pounds new. they put it for free. People, because our members are very connected to me, they can reach me easily. And they said, Ana, there's something wrong. Someone is giving away an LV. And I said, wow. And I looked at her listings. So I asked our customer care superstar, Rebecca, to say, can you get in touch just to make sure they know what they're doing? And they said, oh, yes, we are donating. We want to donate our thing. So she was able to donate almost everything to the same person. And she had the chat with
Wow.
them on the website, and they had a conversation. And it was like, yeah, take it. So, I mean, this is the power of our community as well. It's not just for profit. There's really nice people there that also want to make this very generous gift of giving.
Yeah, fantastic. And I love the fact you've enabled that. What would be, to use another overused statement, Anna, thinking about your business now between where you are and where you want to be, say, in 12 months' time, what do you think will make the biggest difference? What if there was one e-commerce skill you could learn, what would it be? Because it's going to make the biggest difference on your business.
Well, I want everything to go faster, 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 faster. Oh my God, just faster. Anyway, there's two things that can really help us over the edge in a good way. One of them is our B2B2C partnerships, where we do the overstock and the open box returns. So getting more partners to join. We have one retailer that I cannot say who it is, but if I did, it would be like, wow, okay. And we need more. We want more. We are ready to take more. And if we're able to do that, we are going to have much a bigger offering, and then more people are going to join because they want to be part of these drops, which usually sell out in a couple of hours. It's a super success. But I'm finding it really hard to get brands that are not used to this possibility of selling the returns through a marketplace, and instead they prefer to keep it there for the foreseeable, to say, okay, let's try it out. Even though in the US and in Canada, there's two brands in each country that are already doing it very successfully. And that's all they do is returns and open and overstock.
Yeah.
So just getting people here, the UK brands and retailers here, to say, okay, let's do it. Let's try it out. And they're going to recoup revenue and recoup space and just be much more sustainable. So that's one thing. The other thing is investment, and getting investors that really understand what we're doing, that can see that the resale is growing much faster, that this is the future, that it's already happening. It's not just the future, it's the present already. And to see how there's been this huge behavioral shift from people that want to have a more pocket-wise and a more sustainable way of shopping, to get them to say, okay, let's go. Because we are small comparing to the big guys, and we need to grow our user base because marketplaces are all about volume. But we need people to say, okay, let's go. Yes, let's do it. And it's hard because they want to see revenue and they want to see, and we take a small take rate, but we take a much bigger take rate on the B2B2C. And we have 5 new revenue streams that we're ready to launch, but we need investment to develop these things. It's a bit like a chicken and egg, you see the investor says, oh, you're too small and you need to hit that. I said, yeah, but to hit that, I need money to do marketing so that I can hit that. Otherwise, I need to just keep trying to grow slow and organically, and it takes time. So it's those two things that I think would really help it shift.
How did you mentioned earlier on that you secured £150,000 in funding, round one funding. How did you do that?
I just like the other stuff, I just went for it. I just thought, okay, let's do this. So how did it happen? It was pre-revenue, so we were not making any money. We were actually spending money to run the business because we had Stripe fees and developers doing some stuff on the website. But yeah, I think the problem is so obvious, that parents are full of stuff that they don't need anymore. There are other parents that need stuff, and maybe because of their consciousness. They don't want to buy new because they are choosing to be sustainable, or because they need to have something good but not as expensive. So it's like, and the waste. There's like 183 million pieces of clothing of kids wear end up in landfill each year in the UK, just in the UK. And
That's
80%, 80% of toys globally end up in landfill, incinerators, or the ocean. The problem is huge. You have stuff in your house that you don't need anymore. You need stuff for the new stage. And so I think that was one of the reasons why we got investment. And our product looks good. I'm a graphic designer. I did a nice job.
I love that. Check it out, the Octopus Club. It looks good out. Yeah.
And it's a very honest place. And I think people the investors that joined in the beginning saw it as a huge opportunity, and it is a huge business opportunity because all the families have this problem, all of them, if they can afford stuff or if they can't, because the problem is of having the stuff and not having what to do with it, or having to buy the stuff and not having enough money, or because wanting to be sustainable and wanting to have other choices. It's like one or the other way, it will fit a family's need. So that's how we did it, I think.
Well, so going faster obviously is important, and getting funding is obviously important. What's one thing that you're actively trying to learn in e-commerce at the moment? What's the skill that you're maybe trying to develop, if there is one? If there isn't, then that's fine. I'm just curious to know if you're actively trying to develop any kind of knowledge or skill in e-commerce right now.
So right now, our email marketing and our Instagram content is very general. So we are a business that can cater for pregnancy up to 12 years old.
Right.
But the way we are communicating is general, because we have not been able to invest in product features that enable us to target market specifically to people at a certain stage of their parenting. So that is really tough, because it's probably slowing sales. Because if you get an email newsletter that has stuff for parenting, but also for 10-year-old kids, they'll be like, oh, you might get one or two things that are interesting for that customer. So that's one thing that we would love to develop soon, so that we can do much more relevant content to our members.
And what email platform do you use?
We use MailChimp.
So people are listening because they're always intrigued by what the other software people use. So you use MailChimp. Have you always used MailChimp?
Yeah.
And what's the platform you use to the marketplace? Is that proprietary software? Is that stuff you've developed, or is that off the shelf?
So we use ShareTribe, which is a marketplace platform for marketplaces. And they are really incredible. You can put a marketplace up in a few days as a test, and it's very handy for starting up. And that's another thing that really helped us to launch quickly, because we could play around, do some stuff, and that I got some developers in to make it look exactly how I wanted, because that was really important. But if you just want to try, and you're not so focused on how it looks like, you can just launch in 3 days or something. Like, it's really handy, really good for marketplaces.
Do you find, Ana, being a graphic designer is both a blessing and a curse? That actually you want stuff to look really good, but sometimes you just need to let it go and go,
I used to be very obsessed about detail, because I worked at really good studios in London, and it was like, you need to be perfect. Okay, perfect. Otherwise you cannot go. But with a startup, and then when I started this journey of the Octopus Club, I had to be a bit more flexible, because like we said, if you're just trying to be perfect all the time, it doesn't get out.
Yeah.
And I learned how to let things go much more. And it's so refreshing not to be so fast. It's like, okay, what else? Once I put like, imagine typeface is something like, oh my God, it needs to be perfect. And once or twice on social media, I put the wrong typeface on a post, and I thought, oh my word, It's already there. People are liking the post. I'm not going to take it out. And yeah, it looks a bit similar. I would never be able to be like this when I was working in studios that
Right.
are very well respected.
Yeah.
But, you know what I think? If people are really perfect and everything is too perfect, you're not approachable. You're not real.
Mm.
You're not human. People don't want that anymore. People they want to feel connected.
Yeah, they do.
And that means being a bit imperfect, honest, raw, and just being there, showing
Yeah,
up.
I totally agree. I think actually, in some respects, it's some of the best content. So you put a post out and you go, "Oh, it's the wrong typeface." Actually, to then follow that up with some stories, going, "You know what, guys? I set out a post with the wrong typeface. You wouldn't have noticed, but I have a graphic design background, and I saw it, and I started to twitch." And I think just stories like that are what makes you approachable, what makes you real and raw, and people go, "Aha!" And so next time when you do something, people might go, "Is this the right typeface?" And it becomes a bit of an in joke, and then the community grows around that. And I think those kind of things are wonderful. Actually, they're these sort of happy accidents that you can really build off of. But yeah, intriguing. So, what does the future look like, Anna? What's the plan? What's the dream? You want investment. You want things to go faster. Fast forward 5 years. Where is the Octopus Club?
Oh, wow. Well, in 5 years, we'll be in other countries already,
Yeah.
for sure. Yeah. But I want even more for the community to be engaged with the product and really helping us. This is so important to me, like
Yeah.
that because it's a club, right? And they need to shape it. I want them involved. I want these pro sellers having their own little market stalls all over the country with Octopus Club branding and them feeling
Yeah.
like they are part of it. Like empowering the community to have a piece of us and to be part of it, really owning it. I want Octopus Club to be for the people and with the people and be much bigger than just a sell and buy marketplace.
Fantastic. Well, we look forward to seeing where it is going to be in 5 years' time. Anna, before we go, we do this thing where I ask guests on the show for a question for me. Now, this is the question for Matt section where you're going to ask me a question, but I'm not going to answer it now. No. I'm going to answer it on my social media, talking about social media. So Anna's going to ask me a question. If you want to, dear listener, hear the answer to said question, you're going to have to follow me on social media. So, Anna, go. What is your question?
My question is, oh dear, I wasn't very prepared and I was so talking about everything.
No problem.
You probably have to cut this bit where I'm thinking.
Yeah, no, we won't.
Where do you see e-commerce in the next 5 years?
Where do I see e-commerce going in the next 5 years? Okay, that's a very good question. I will answer that, of course, on social media. If you want to know my answer, come check it out. Just follow me, Matt Edmundson, on the usual channels on Instagram or LinkedIn. And I will post, in fact, on Twitter as well. I should probably stop posting the answers on Twitter, actually. But yes, you can find out the answers there. Anna, listen, it's been great talking to you. Genuinely love the conversation. If people want to find out more about you, if they want to reach out, connect with you, maybe they want to help with what's going on, maybe they want to invest, maybe they want to help you, with Instagram or whatever, what's the best way to do that?
On Instagram, you can go to @the Club. On LinkedIn, it's Ana Rachel Estrougo, and you put that down somewhere, right? So
It'll be in the show notes.
Ana with one N. Yeah. Where else? The website. Go check it out. Send us a message through there. Buy and sell. theoctopusclub.com.
theoctopusclub.com. Do check that out. And as Anna said, we will, of course, link to all her information in the show notes, which if you're subscribed to the newsletter will be coming to your inbox. If you're not subscribed to the newsletter, they won't be. So subscribe to the newsletter and you'll get them. Either way, you'll find them on the website, ecommercepodcast.net. Now, Anna, listen, It has been an absolute treat to chat to you today. Thank you so much for joining us. And I wish you all the best with the Octopus Club. It's a brilliant thing. Do go check it out, theoctopusclub.com. But Ana, thank you.
Thank you so much, Matt. And yes, to the future of e-commerce.
Absolutely. What a great conversation. Huge thanks again to Ana for joining me today. Also, be sure to follow the e-commerce podcast wherever you get your podcast from, because of course we have more great conversations lined up and I don't want you to miss any of them. And in case no one has told you yet today, let me be the first. You are awesome. Yes, you are. Created awesome. It's just a burden you have to bear. Ana's got to bear it. I've got to bear it. You've got to bear it as well. Now, the e-commerce podcast is produced by Podjunction. You can find our entire archive of episodes on your favorite podcast app. The team that makes this show possible is Sadaf Bainer and Tanya Hutzlak, amazing people. Our theme song was written by Josh Edmundson. And as I mentioned, if you would like to read the transcript or show notes, head over to the website, ecommercepodcast.net. That's ecommercepodcast.net. But that's it from me. That's it from Ana. Thank you so much for joining us. Have a fantastic week wherever you are in the world. I'll see you next time. Bye for now.